Hi, I'm Joanne Banko, and today our featured accessory is known as a pearl and sequins foot. Wait till you see what this foot can do. The pearl and sequin foot, just like it sounds, is designed for sewing pearls and sequins. But you're going to see in a minute there are other things you can do with this foot. Let's take a look at the way this foot is designed. It's a clear foot, so it's a little hard to see. Hopefully you can see it real good on this pretty fabric. And it's got a deep channel and a deep groove. Let me flip it over and show you the underside of that foot. There's a groove designed for that pearl to slide right underneath, and not only that, the foot is designed with a wide opening at the end. So you can go around curves, you can swirl with your pearls, you can do all kinds of different decorative effects. So how do you sew these pearls? It's easy, wait till you see. We're going to snap the foot on the machine, replace our ordinary foot, and take a look at how the thread goes underneath that foot. We've got a slot on the side, so your top needle thread can be slipped right underneath. That's the way you want to start. And then we're going to take our pearls and put it on a piece of fabric. If you notice, I've got a piece of stabilizer underneath. It's always a good idea when you have a very thin fabric to add a little bit of extra stabilizer, especially because I'm using only one layer. I'm going to slip this underneath. And then I'm going to select a zigzag stitch on the machine. I've already got that selected, and I've got an average width and an average length. Just like you do for many of your sewing projects, it's always a good idea to test first and see what your settings should be on a scrap. So I'm going to lower the presser foot, and this is one of the few times when I take the time to turn the hand wheel by hand and see if that needle is skipping over from side to side. Oh, that's perfect. We can use different threads for this as well. You're going to see I've got ordinary sewing thread. I did that so that you'd be able to see the stitches really good. Most of the time, though, you don't want those stitches to be seen. You want them to kind of disappear or melt into the fabric. And that's why you see I've got different threads here. I've got clear threads. I've got clear threads in both dark and light. I've got ordinary sewing thread that could match our fabric. One of my favorite threads to use for this technique is machine embroidery thread, because that thread is thin and fine, and it works especially nice if you're using it on shiny fabrics. All right, let's go ahead and stitch these pearls right down the middle. Look how I can swirl and twirl. Again, that's because that foot is designed with that opening on the back. Pop this up so that you can see it. Wow, look at how pretty that is. Skips right over those pearls. You can see the zigzag on the back. That anchors them in place. Now, I said before, this isn't just limited to pearls. Think about something like this cording that you see. Very similar to the pearls in the thickness. And that's what I used on my lingerie bag that you see that matches the pretty lingerie that I have here. So I actually used it just as a technique to anchor the cord in place and create a drawstring. Now, what about sequins? This is known as the pearl and sequin foot. We've got some sequins here, and we can sew sequins over fabric just like we did with the pearls. Same technique. We slide it underneath the foot. We would also, again, choose our stitch width to skip over those sequins. I can tell already those sequins are a little wider, so I'm going to go a little wider and a little longer on that stitch. And this would definitely be a time where I would very likely want to use clear thread. If you take a look at this little camisole, I've got it started, just begun. I want to do multiple rows on there. I did just that. I used the clear thread, but in the dark color, so it melts into the fabric. Now, we can use this technique for a variety of things, and in particular, the jewelry case you'll find, if you download it from the website, you'll find free instructions. Have fun using the pearl and sequin foot.